All right, so the debt ceiling thing, not quite over yet. Kevin McCarthy, his job may be hanging in the balance. Heard that today from Ken Buck, Congressman, Republican of Colorado. He will be joining us in just a little bit to see if we can get this all straightened out. All right, on to Target. We haven't addressed that yet. I do have a few things to say about the Target situation and that crazy, weird, and stupid paraphernalia they were trying to sell.
The retailer removing LGBTQ brand App Prowlin from their stores and website, whose products featured satanic themes. Target also reportedly reviewing its adult collection of tuck-friendly swimsuits that allows trans people who have not had gender-affirming operations to conceal their private parts.
To Target's items featuring slogans like Live, Laugh, Lesbian and clothing for babies and children.
Well, this filth should never have been in the store in the first place. Why did they put it there? Well, like so many other companies, so many other institutions in America, they've gone woke. And this guy, the chairman of the company, Brian Cornell, Target CEO, he knows where his bread is buttered. I think he'll do anything to keep this job. $17.7 million, according to reports. Yeah, you'll do some crazy things for that kind of money, even hiring this individual, Kira Fernandez, Target's Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. She has some very peculiar and interesting views.
One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is Black. One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is a woman. So when you intersect those two things, you could easily identify differently if you wanted to, for protect, whatever, right? I'm not judging anybody, but I know who I see every time I look in the mirror.
All right, so that's the person you're going to see when you go to HR. You're in trouble, whoever you are, whatever you look like, dealing with this individual. Next.
And what is actually your job? What do you do?
I lead the strategy, initiatives, and focus of diversity, equity, and inclusion at Target. So that's how we show up and represent the workforce and our workforce diversity, how we represent our guests through our assortment, our marketing, our branding, our partnerships, how we think about the role that we play and the societal impact that we have in communities.
All right, and I think she is a graduate of the Kamala Harris School of Communications.
And the way in which we leverage our size and scale to bring new people, diverse suppliers, entrepreneurs into a space that without that access, they wouldn't be able to enter.
I nod my head too, and I'm interviewing somebody and I don't really understand them. Next.
That part of this really important work at a time that every day reinforces how important it is. In an organization that has an opportunity to change the narrative differently than I think anyone else can.
It's a store. We go to the store. What are they talking about? It's a store, okay? Next.
And then the other part of that is leading talent leadership development. So the experience that you have in training, your onboarding, your welcome into Target, functional learning, development programs, our culture of care, grow, win together, how we think about the experience of team members through the lens of belonging and equity and psychological safety.
This is not capitalism. It's something else, something foreign, borderline socialism. This is not America, this gobbledygook. It's crazy.
You see these, in theory, two separate entities that actually come together and with synergy, because one actually fuels the other.
Yeah.
Right?
I told you about that Kamala Harris School of Communications. One more?
One guides the other. One can break the other down. One can lift the other up.
Yep.
So how do you bridge them together? Which again might seem disparate.
No, it seems very Sesame Street. All right, this is the last one.
When you can't get movement on your learning and development functions to feed in your diversity, equity, and inclusion practices, then you're actually creating inequitable learning.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about the diversity of the end user.
Yeah, the diversity of the end. This is the end. This is the end of Target. This is the end of capitalism. This is the end of our civil society. This is insanity. And I know it got a little bit tedious there. We went through, this is what they talk about all day long and not the mission. And it's infecting all kinds of businesses, institutions, the military. And oh, by the way, look at what it really does for Target's bottom line. You heard about this. They have taken a massive, massive hit. But the very weird thing is, this may be by design. They may not even care about this. There's something deeper going on.
Target doesn't care if you boycott their stores. They're not afraid of you. They're scared of a much bigger threat. Let me explain. Target's largest shareholders are Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock. These corporations support the Corporate Equality Index, or CEI. This is a rating system for how much American businesses support the LGBT community. If Target's CEO does not support the LGBT community well, then he's not going to be reelected by the shareholders. So sometimes corporations like Target push LGBT marketing campaigns, not because they particularly want to or it's good for profits, they do it for a high CEI score. So they face a backlash, maybe they lose a little money. Failing to get a high CEI is way more scary.
All right, very interesting analysis. I don't know who that guy is at the end there. And the CEI score, what we found today for Target, is perfect. But I don't think you really want them. That shows you how just crazy the company is, that they've signed up for all this nonsense. So, hey, it's safe to make fun of Dylan Mulvaney, right? I mean, a little bit. Let's face it. He put himself out there in a big, big way. You can say stuff about Dylan online if you want. You can say stuff about Target if you want. You really can't these days. You can't. Whether you're a bus driver or a professional baseball player, you can get in big trouble. This is Andrew Bass. He's a pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. I know they're in Canada, but they're all American up there, the players. And he just retweeted some other guy talking about this situation on social media. This is not him talking, but he liked it on social media, and now he's in trouble. And the person who, well, listen to what was said.
Here's the reason biblically why I believe Christians ought to be boycotting Target and Bud Light and any other corporation that's pushing the things they're pushing. I think a lot of people make this into a political issue, or they say, oh, what's the big deal? If, is it really going to make that big of a difference if I'm shopping there or not shopping there? Here's what the Bible says. It tells us what to do as Christians in Ephesians chapter 5.
He says, he gives a beautiful explanation, Ephesians chapter 5, and you have to shine light on this stuff. And hey, it's a free country, right? We're allowed. This is not profane. This is totally fine. So that Toronto Jays pitcher post this and, oh boy, got in big trouble with the manager and the team owner. And take a look.
I recognized yesterday I made a post that was hurtful to the Pride community, which includes friends of mine and close family members of mine, and I am truly sorry for that. I just spoke with my teammates and shared with them my actions yesterday. I apologized with them, and as of right now, I'm using the Blue Jays resources to better educate myself, to make better decisions moving forward. The ballpark is for everybody. We include all fans at the ballpark, and we want to welcome everybody. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Seems like it's under duress, doesn't it? That's communist talk. Better educate myself. I have to educate. I'm truly sorry. And this is discussion of the Bible is hurtful to the Pride community. What is the Pride community? If there is such a thing, the Pride community can jump in the lake. I'm sorry. This is wrong. We all know it. There's no reason to cooperate. We have to stop this insanity, and not everybody's going this way. We got Clayton Kershaw. He pitches for the LA Dodgers, and he finds this offensive because it is offensive. The Sisters of Indulgence were scheduled to come by on LGBTQ Pride Night, whatever, and he didn't like it because this is not a Christian group. They're making fun of it, and it's ugly, and it's wrong. And he said so. Good for him. It's his right. Big statement. Listen to this. As a devout Catholic, I am deeply troubled by the Dodgers' decision to invite and honor a group that makes a blatant and deeply offensive mockery of my religion. He has not backed down. In fact, he has insisted that the Dodgers come out and have an alternative celebration. Join us at Dodger Stadium on 7/30, July 30th for Christian Faith and Family Day. Stay after the game to celebrate and be part of a day of worship. Stay tuned for more details. That's more like it. Now, they had that on the schedule apparently, but Clayton put some pressure on the bosses and they had to make that announcement a bit early. Good for him. He did not back down. I feel for that Toronto Blue Jay. I mean, it looks to me like his boss made him do it. Look, this stuff is such a distraction from everything we need to be focused on, especially our adversaries. You know, they're not dealing with this. They have horrific policies, and they are, gosh, murderers, both of them, really. But at least they don't have to worry about this stuff, and that makes them more of a threat. You know, we lost a war, Afghanistan. We did. And I believe it's because, in part, our military and our administration so consumed with nonsense that has nothing to do with American might and national security and making us great. Here is General Mark Milley, soon to be ex-chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In the run-up to our exit from Afghanistan, this is what he was thinking about.
There were laws in the United States, antebellum laws prior to the Civil War, that led to a power differential with African Americans that were 3/4 of a human being when this country was formed. And then we had a Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation to change it. And we brought it up to the Civil Rights Act in 1964. It took another 100 years to change that. So look, I do want to know.
Yeah, you do want to know. Well, quit and study that stuff. Become a community college professor. Do what you want to do. But that's virtue signaling right there. And what wasn't he doing? That was June 23rd of 2021. Virtue signaling on race before Congress and the American people. What happened just, 8 weeks or so later? Yes, our horrific loss in Afghanistan. See how fired up he's looking? Not over defeating the enemy or taking care of our troops, but showing off how much he knows about antebellum laws and slavery and white supremacy. And speaking of which, enough with the white supremacy, okay? It is a myth. Those who do practice it are crazy and weird. They're in jail or they're off in the woods. It's a ghost. It's a phantom. And they keep pushing it, especially saying it's in the military when it's not.
We must also acknowledge that our military faces challenges, a rise in white supremacy and extremism within the ranks.
So yes, we have racism in the military. We have white supremacy in the military. We have anti-Semitism in the military.
This ever-growing problem, which to be sure has been a problem, regarding white supremacists within the military, within its ranks.
So that's just a talking point. There is absolutely nothing backing it up. But I wanted to see how could I, is there a barometer, all right, to see the flavor of things in the military? And what about mass shootings? You know, we see school shootings, church shootings sometimes on base, on military bases. There have been mass shootings over the past several years, actually the past 20 years. Let's go through them, shall we? The last mass shooting, 3 killed, 8 injured at the Pensacola Navy base, where I was once stationed. The gunman, Mohammed Saeed Al-Shamarinani, I don't think he's a white supremacist. Next, please, we have, Pearl Harbor. Did you know about this one? Probably not. Gabriel Romero shot 2 people, 3 actually, killed 2, 1 injured. Next, let's go to, the Navy Yard back in 2013. 12 were killed, 8 injured by Navy contractor Aaron Alexis. We'll go on like this. Fort Hood, 13 killed, 30 injured by Nidal Hassan. Now, can I see all those guys? All right. Yes, this is not white supremacy, okay? But they're pushing it. Actually, they're pushing it right now. Tonight, earlier on ABC Network News, they had a 2-hour special on this. The debunked, thoroughly false 1619 project that says basically everything about America is based in slavery and racism. But This is what it is now. This is what people believe. They don't believe in the truth. They believe in this. We weren't always like this. 15 years ago, actually, the biggest Democrat in the country wasn't even like this. Barack Obama. He talked about, you want to talk about race? You got to talk about this.
Too many fathers are MIA. Too many fathers are AWOL. You and I know this is true everywhere, but nowhere is it more true than in the African American community. We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They're 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in prison.
Wow, that's a big problem, huge, and no one's talking about it. He stopped talking about it 2 days later because Jesse Jackson threatened to cut his testicles off. He actually said that out loud. But if the Target CEO really wants to make a difference and maybe earn some of that money, he could talk about it. And other corporate chieftains, and maybe even Barack Obama, the missing fathers in the African American community. Wow, that would be a game changer.